Frank Warren, you're putting this show on, of course, and change of opponent, but still the dream night for Fabio coming up June 7th.
It is. First of all, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks again to Ipswich for making this happen, helping us to make this happen. We've still got a great fight. You know, we've got a great fighter in Fabio, who's going to defend his interim title against the number one in the WBA, and this is going to be something a little bit special. I really feel that Fabio has shown what he's all about. Every fight he has, and he reminded me of this in the interview we just did, everybody's been on the floor. They've all tasted the floor. And he certainly doesn't want to lose that run that he's got. And we feel that he has the beating of Justis, who's a very, very good fighter, good quality fighter. And I think we're going to see a real battle between the two of them. This is going to be boxing at its best. Stellar amateur background from Justis. He's undefeated as a pro. There's a spice of Queensbury v Matchroom involved in this. Our respective organisations these guys work with, and I promise you, you are not going to be disappointed. The fans are not going to be disappointed, and they're going to get behind their man and see him get through this, which I believe will be a tough fight, but get through this and go on and turn this interim title into fighting for the world title. And it will happen. It's destiny, I think, destiny for Fabio to be challenging for a world title, and with the power that he's got and what he's done, who knows? He has every opportunity and all the wherewithal to win one, in my opinion.
And that Queensbury versus Matchroom element that you touched upon, I mean, you've got a pretty good record at that. You must be licking your lips.
Well, Eddie's looking to knock us out of the box, and he's brought his man, his gladiators here. That's what this is all about. This is competitive boxing. It's competition at its best. Two quality fighters and the two best promoters in the world, in my opinion.
I'm sure Eddie agrees. Eddie, before I come to you, there's a familiar face, actually familiar to everyone here, down towards the end of the table. The return of the body snatcher, Dillian White, makes his return on this show. And Dillian, listen, we were looking forward to seeing you against Joe Joyce. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Looks like you're recovered. You must just be very excited to get back in there.
Yeah, you know, obviously I was getting ready for August 5th, but gym accident caused me to pull out. Cut my finger down to the bone and the joint, couldn't make a fist. I still wanted to fight, though, to be honest. I didn't tell my team initially, but our sparring partner told my team that, Dillian didn't train 2 days because of his... I went to hospital, got stitched up. I was going to fight, but they put me out of the fight anyway. But yeah, no, it would be good to be, you know, I was thinking about it last night and a day or two ago when I got for the fight. A lot of my big nights, Fabio was there for me and was supporting me as chief support. And it's just funny how life works. Now I'm here to support him for his big night. So I'm very happy about it. You know what I mean? It's a team thing. It's a team effort. You know, I remember when I was coming up having all these hard fights that I was supposedly meant to lose. You know, Fabio would fight for me and he'd come backstage, get his tracksuit and stuff on and walk with me for the main event and stuff like that. It meant a lot. And this will be the same. You know, it's good. And, you know, like I said, I'm looking for a big fight in summer, which we were talking about. And I'm serious about winning that fight and getting back to being involved in big fights. So I was like, you know what, sit around and wait for the big fight. No, I'm not that stage of my career. You know, I want to be active and go into the big fight with activity and competitive training camp. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's get it on.
So what have you got in mind then, Dillian? Because I saw you sat ringside for Hrgovic against Joyce. I'm pretty sure you said that you'd knock them both out. Anthony Joshua, I'm sure, will be back at some point. I'm sure there's a bit of unfinished business there. What do you want to do, Dillian?
I just want to fight the best. What I've always done, I just want to just fight the best guys I can get. Obviously, the AJ fight's always there. We have Needle, and I think that'll be a lifelong thing. You know, obviously, you know, I enjoy fighting a guy, to be honest. I'm sure you enjoy fighting me too. You know, obviously, there is Parker, there's Hrgovic. You know, there's a lot of guys around at the minute. Obviously, Wardley's coming back. You know, and I just want to fight the best guys. You know, it'll be good to have another rematch with Joe Parker if it's possible, or someone else. AJ, another rematch, trilogy. So yeah, that's what I'm all about, man.
Okay, Dillian, your mic's live. Feel free to come back in whenever you like. Eddie, this is an interesting one. Eddie Hearn, of course, from Matchroom. For so long, Fabio was your man. You came here for meetings, I think, a year ago. All the staff were telling me as I came in today. Bit of a strange one now because you're still here, part of his big night, but kind of trying to ruin it.
Yeah, I think it was probably a couple of years ago now. Firstly, thank you, everybody, for allowing us the opportunity for Justis Huni in this fight. Frank, Queensbury, George. I couldn't believe it when we got the call, honestly. It's going to be just over 6 years since Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden. And the similarities are so similar. We were fighting Jarrell Miller. And about 4 weeks before, he pulled out of the fight. And we were just so confident. But like Frank, we wanted to deliver a great fight for the fans and the broadcaster. And we probably chose the wrong style. We probably chose the wrong fight. And this is a carbon copy of that. I really believe that. So don't get me wrong. I'm happy and sad. I'm happy that Justis is going to get his chance to announce himself on the world stage. Just a little bit sad for Fabio because I thought he'd beat Jarrell Miller and I was quite looking forward to seeing it. And now we've got to go and ruin everything. The dream, the fairy tale. And it's a tough one because he's a lovely fella. And now we get on with Frank. And the pressure's massive on Fabio Wardley. Massive. But one thing I will say, we had a really good face-off in there. 2 world-class fighters. And I think this is the first time they've fought at world level. Both of them. Number 1 with the WBA, number 1 with the WBO, 2 undefeated heavyweights. And this man's a serious fighter. Serious fighter. I think he's being underestimated in this fight. And Spencer will tell you, Mick will tell you, we couldn't believe it when we got the call. Could not believe it. And that is because Frank, the Zone, everybody, and Fabio, they wanted a real fight, and they've got a real fight on June 7th. And, it's going to be... When I'm driving home that night, don't get me wrong, we'll be over the moon, and there'll be a new superstar of Australian boxing. But a small part of me will feel that sadness down the A12. Because it should have been his night. But that's just how boxing plays out.
Frank is so known for guiding his fighters so well, making the right moves.
That's why I couldn't believe it, Dev. That's why I couldn't. Frank knows boxing inside out. As they say, he's forgotten more about boxing than I know. Right? It's very, very unusual for Frank to make a mistake like this. Very unusual. And I feel like, maybe it was George. And George is a little bit younger and probably a little bit more naive like me. But the great thing is it's like our newfound friendship has lulled him into a false sense of security. George just phoned up. What do you think about the Justis Huni fight against Fabio Wardley? God, George, what a fight for the Zone. We're all working for the global home of boxing. We got to give him 50-50 fights. You're so brave. Wow, Fabio deserves such a big pat on the back if you take that fight. Signed. I couldn't believe it. I thought Frank Warren doesn't make mistakes like that.
I am going to give you a lift down the A12, you know that.
You can drive me home.
Those eyes are going to be so sore you won't be able to drive. All those tears.
We can use one of your drivers that night, right? It will be a beautiful drive home. As I always do, we'll stop at the M&S for a pickled onion monster munch and a chicken salad sandwich. And we'll chinwag about what I will say, what a historic night for Ipswich, the county, everything. You never see it. It's so good to put nights on like this. It's just... it's just, like I say, I love a happy ending. No, did he?
Hey.
Well, we have heard about that. Yeah. It's closed. The massage room is closed, by the way. There's one on the A12. We're finding one.
Essex, not Hertfordshire.
Okay, well, that took a bit of a turn.